Okay. Hello, hello. All right. That looks like it's ready. Let's go ahead and check one last thing, and then we'll be ready to go. All right. We are back. Hope everybody had a happy holiday. I'm going to play some more Last Caretaker. Yeah. I have started a second playthrough, but that will go up probably on my YouTube channel. So find me over there if you want to see that. In the meantime, we have one last thing to do over here, which is to deal with Skitter Central. There is one floor left of that building that has not been cleared out. And I'm not looking forward to it. Okay, what have we got in our backpack? We have plenty of bullets. A little bit of food if I can deposit you. You. All right. I'm going to deposit you. Come back to that later. All right. So the way this is set up in that space over there is that there are 3 floors. There's the top floor, which we've cleared out. Check a couple grenades in there, back away to a safe distance, and then clean up the mess. Not exactly fun. I did die once, but doable. The bottom floor is actually fairly empty, although there are an occasional bug or two. It's difficult to see where they're coming from until you look up in one of the rooms and realize that where it's coming from is a vent that the game expects you to crawl up. So that's what we're going to do. Just in case something is awake. Yeah. I want you to go up there. Which I'm not looking forward to. Not gonna lie. All right. And that's the junk. I'm gonna have to get creative. And stack some boxes. And if something decides to swarm me, it's gonna be unpleasant. Right. We will stack some boxes over here. Put all the metal plates on top. Every game Those boxes are not the same size. Maybe it's size. I think you might. That's not publishing cooking. Hello, kitten. He's joined me. Kitten's in the mood because Kitten did not like breakfast that was served to her this morning. No chewing on the clothes, Kitten. And has decided to blame me. Settle down. All right. No, I'm fully expecting it's one. That's not tall enough. All right. Maybe lifted. I want the box stacking. Riveting content, I know, is that it's a bit of a physics game. If you don't have a proper base, the whole thing has a tendency to wiggle over on you and stand on top of it. May be necessary to bring some of these tables into play. Stay and stack the table on the bed. Hold on, I have to do that. That's going to be a real pain. I mean, fortunately, we do have more boxes. All right. And that's the tall box. That's I'm ignoring my cats. My cats are in the hallway having a fuss. Big boxes on the bottom. Two of them. Stability plate. Somewhere the programmer is cackling glee, the developer. But how I'm doing this and thinking to himself, doesn't she realize the obvious answer? The answer is no. No, in fact, I do not. This is the best we can do. Although, it has to be said that some of the mechanisms here work in terms of being able to see what you're doing. What the start was. Trying to stand on top of the coffee table. And all I have to do is get up there. Done with physics. All right. All right. No, but no. There. No, I know. Oh, I know. So unfair. Get off me. Get off. Where are you? Where are you? Ah. Okay. In fact, it was easier than it should have been. There's still something in here. Where are you? I can hear you. Are you stuck downstairs? Is that what's going on? All right. That sounds like chittering of some kind. There's maybe something behind, stuck in the physics of the behind the bits. All right. Meantime. Huh. What are you? Have you been there this whole time? I literally wired this entire place for electricity and oil and cleared out Skitterbugs Central and did not even notice that while I was there. All right. Let's go ahead and recharge and climb up the ladder. Um, that's it. Um, let's do that. All right, let's drop you off. Okay, let's see what's up the ladder. Probably something that wants to be repaired. Oh, I Ah, anything else? Needs to be at least one place where there's some sort of pleasant, jaunty music, I think. Sort of eerie ambiance. I think this may just be an Assassin's Creed moment. Um, oh, I'm stuck. All right, I'm pushing up on the controller and it doesn't want me to look. So I am attached. Oh, there we go. Okay. The game knows I don't actually want to go up here. I'm only doing it for completeness sake. Oh, oh, get off. Get off the ladder. Oh, and then coming down is not going to be fun either. Hmm. Another big grenade. Oh, robot friend. Goodbye, robot friend. Wow. That must be south. It really is the edge of the map. Okay. How to get down without apologies to anybody who has heights issues, but a robot has a tendency to jump off the ladder that makes me very nervous. And that spot does not have a railing. We are going to keep a light hand on the trigger. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. All right, so that is, as far as I can tell, the extent of the black oil rig, black vein oil rig. That's what it's called. Where are you? There can't be that many of you left. You must be stuck under something or behind something. Sure. Ah, there you are. There you are. And I think that was the last one. There's some robots and a couple of those beds downstairs. I don't know if I'm going to do anything else. Honestly, what I might do on this one next is to wait. What I may do on this one is to go back down to the starting area. Because, well, first of all, I want to see how respawning things are. And also, I kind of want to see if I'm going to do just like random points of interest then I think what I will do is just do areas down there, and we'll start. Not exactly start from the easy spots because you never know, but let's see if I can do this without disconnecting power to everything. There we go. So yeah, the water in the vibe is just a little nicer down south too, which makes a certain amount of sense. Probably don't need to actually go down through the hole. But what the hell? Why am I on top of the light box? Why am I stuck? Scooch. Crouch. Crouch. Oh dear. I'm glad I saved. Why am I stuck on top of the light box? All the places to get stuck. All right. I did just save, so. Let me just load from the last one. Of all the places to get stuck. All right, we'll take the door this time. We'll take the door this time. Like a good little robot. You'll note this is one of the first survival games that I dug. Oh. This is one of the first survival games that I've dug into this time, and I'm finding it a lot of fun. Usually, one ends up in an endless round of just an endless round of chopping down trees and this, that, and the other, saying, goodbye, robot friend. For some reason, I'm just really getting a lot more out of this setting than the average semi-fantasy, waft around the magic world and everything. Not to knock that, but, well, not going to knock. I just find it very, very soon. Except for a bit that's actively trying to kill me. Kind of don't want to have to come back for this thing, so we may push this. Even though I am in 500. Looking for techie bits. Techie bits. Goodbye, robot friend. Right. Yes. Mm. Some glass. All right. Slow walk. The slow walk of shame. Whose shame is a root goblin. Goodness. We'll load it again. Nope. No. You are empty. Let's put. I'm going to take you. I want to take you. Those big boxes don't fit through the doorways very easily, so I may leave some of that behind. Not the big battery, the big grenade. And then we want to check on the oil canister downstairs. You look like you filled up again. You're still running power. So I think I want to turn the pump off so that it doesn't drain that battery. What I want is this battery to be full by the time I come back here. And then slower than usual. Christ, there was that much going on. All right. Like was like, polyurethane is really heavy, copper is really heavy, and glass is really heavy, and I have way too much. So it can stay behind. I should leave a little bit of the iron and plastic, but I'm going to leave plenty of things. If I ever had to come back, I could probably repair. That's going to come in. It's going to take you so I don't. Well, no, we need to wait. I'm gonna have to make a run down to the boat and back up to get the rest of that. Nope. Now and then there's just one more hornet. Yep. All right. All right. You're empty. That you are not the box. You can go in there. I could take the glass. Food, you want methods. And you are batteries. There we go. Nice and light. You are full. You've left the cable draped down off of that gangway, which I hope will make it easier to refuel. Although at a certain point, I have to come back up anyways. Because you'd want to come back, refill, good grief. When I come back, refill the oil tank on the boat, then pump new oil. What I'm going to do is take this back to the Lazarus station and make sure I'm turning off the lights with no good reason except neatness. There's a bunch of stuff in here. Right. You can stay, you can stay, you can stay. Take myself a chair down. Um, I don't necessarily want to clean out Skitterbugs Central again, but that's another reason to go back to the starting area to see what. There's two things we want to check. We want to check the respawn for materials, if there is one. and respawn for enemies if there is one. I've been back to Lazarus a couple times and it has not respawned. Can't close the doors downstairs really because they there's wires going through them that I could close this door. Okay, what can you take? Take the glass and take the cable. Take the rubber. Go ahead and take that copper. The rest of it can stay. That doesn't turn off unless the electricity of the whole place turns off. Yeah, because like how sneaky are they going to be about asking you to clear things out more than once? Is somebody going to climb up from the depths? Yes, that's why these doors, some of these doors. Although closing some of the doors isn't going to do much good if there's a giant hole. Yeah, this is charging very slowly, but it is charging. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure I closed down along that, or I chose the easiest method of dripping the oil down. There are tanks over on the other side that I have not emptied. I don't even remember if I repaired them. Probably take a look at that. Sit down here. That goes to Skitterbug. This. Now that's the back door. All right, so there are, of course, things that I'm not getting into. Which back door are you? Oh, yeah. And that back door. Which back door are you? No. Look, I'm sorry. Did I not come down yet? It was not bad. Just the end of the rifle slam. Let's move that. All right, I'm just going to leave this as it is. I didn't realize that was there. Okay, so the oil tanks must be on the other side. Or the petrol and the diesel tanks must be on, I think they're down that silly ladder. Over here is the ladder you can use to get around the underside for a bit. I used it to get into position. There was a beastie underneath the helipad. You couldn't get a clear shot at otherwise. I do repair them. And I do and I equalize them. I think this is why I brought the cable down this side, because I can bring it up here. Oh, you poor thing. You're going to drop onto my ship on a meeting, aren't you? Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff over here you probably talk for too, but falling into the water and then swimming back over is not. So I'm going to take a pass on that. All right. Stay light. It's sunlight. I think it's time to go. Now that's the, we're down to the elevator shaft. Probably should have gone out the other side, but out those wall plugs that are in there, but such is life. I've turned around in the middle direction. The elevator is over here. And go ahead and count this as done. And the ship is sad. There we go. That's it then. That is it for the black main. We have to go back that away and decide how many spaces I'm interested in getting between there and the original dock. Naturally, the sun is going down. Little final run through my boxes. You a mirror. I need to take all of this back to Lazarus. I leave it there. And I've still got that bed that I haven't done anything with. Other. All right. Who's it? Let's see. Rifle go over here. And I'll just make up some ammo for it. Think. I don't have quite as much iron. I should probably fix that. Check the net. Okay. Oh my God, wanted to be full of food. Right. I don't think a little bit. Top off. There we go. All right, we have a full oil tank, just the one. I didn't get greedy. Benjamin, don't jump. There we go. All right, so let us struggle with the map a bit. All right. We've done the last lister. We've done that. We've not done the sea vaults. I think you have to do the graves before you do the sea vaults. I'm kind of curious about the warehouses. Oh, right. We did Nomad's Tower, which has the same icon as the original sanctuary, but is not shaped. It's a tower. You have to click it. I mean, there's stuff there, but it's still not quite the same. Another grave, another sea vault there. I don't know that the sea vault sitting next to the grave is related to the grave. You have to go to the grave to get a access code to get into the sea vaults. So we had to go to Norfolk Grave to get the access code for Prometheus, which is not the icon sitting on that map right next to the grave. This is something new. The way that you get all of these extra seed vaults is you go to the last listener. And then after completing the last listener, that is when you get the new map. All right. Pulling that away. Remember how to steer the boat. Do not like to go into battle. Right. Women. And there's not an octopus on the roof that has a bunch of solar panels. What is that? The manatee? I'm not actually going to shoot it, but sometimes. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's an angel. Sometimes they get a bit stuck. I think they tend to float sometimes over the graves because the graves are underwater. So I can't remember what that is. Um, that's one of the warehouses. It's pretty significant. Just sneak over and add it to the map so that I remember. Otherwise, I think I'm going to cut straight south with a dog. Naturally, there's weather. Habitat mode. If the weather's in a mood, I want to get a better look at that thing. A little bit of artifacting around the weather. I am also cruising at a fairly slow speed because I'm not using my diesel. Wonderful. And then we need to take medium. And take the poop upstairs. Right. What is that info? Wow. That looks significant. It also looks like it might have a bunch of stuff living on it that was going to trick me. Yeah, we'll save that for later. I guess I should also test the theory. I'm sort of assuming the stuff down south is going to be sarcastic finger quotes easier. I have no evidence of that whatsoever. No evidence. That's just really too close to the oil rig, which took days on end. The comfort. I'm curious too. This part of the map is essentially empty. I'm kind of kitty cornering through a space where the circles don't overlap. I should do. I didn't save. Mm. Mm. You were not on the map until I chugged over here. Oh, there is stuff in the empty spaces. Well, I'm not going over there in the dark at night, but maybe if we wait out the storm. Weather in this game. Oh my goodness. I feel like there's a certain point you could just wander around the oceans, scooping out random scrap and turning it into whatever you needed. I almost wonder if maybe those silly logs that I've been ignoring have something to say about this. Um, that's haven't had 6 1 renamed 10 4. There's so much packed in here, but it's hard to read. I was squinting at my screen. There's all sorts of fun stuff, probably going into all the details. Uh, no, wrong habitat node. Well, what time is it? Middle of the night. We'll just have to wait it out. Hope the leeches aren't too rude. There's a little bit of drain, and then a little bit of a. That must just be the lighting. Urban binoculars would come in handy. And just saying, game. It's been a minute since I checked out my wind turbines. Ah, what plastic and iron? Did I lose that box? Or is it just empty? Plastic, iron, and copper. Definitely more. All right, we'll repair the wind turbines and then save and then go over to the habitat and see what tries to eat us. Hey Chad, how's it going? I tend to get real quiet when I'm trying to pilot the boat because I'm constantly whacking it into things. And there isn't a lot of ambient noise on this game. I'm looking for a ladder. I kind of took a shortcut and ended up finding something off the map, and I'm wondering what's inside it. It's a box labeled fart. Okay. I have to get a lot closer if I want to jump over. I'm on boat. I am actually almost finished with this one. It's a survival game, so it kind of never entirely finishes. You end up just kind of clearing the same areas over and over again and seeing what happens. Why you do this way though? It's fun. I'm having a really good time with it. I love sci-fi stuff, so this was right up my alley. Keep an eye on your power and go. It's pretty fair about not respawning things. So you can always back out of an area and go back in and just sort of save as you go to not lose any progress. You do want to break down a lot of stuff though, because I'm trying to figure out if the game respawns any resources. Okay, this is not working. It is early access, but I haven't found too many bugs. I'm just gonna have to swim over to it and see what's going on. All right. Ooh, underwater stuff. There's not too many jump scares or anything exciting like that, but there are a couple of spaces that you walk into and then just kind of nope right back out of. Not ready for that. Oh, yeah. That has skitterbugs in it. Ah, crap. I don't know if I brought enough stuff this week to deal with skitterbugs. All right. Let you out. Yep. And we're running. Get off me. Get off me. All right. This is an example of the enemies. They like to swarm. They do a lot of little damage, but if you get too many of them at you all at once, then it gets ugly. And they respawn if you don't get them, or if you forget to reload. Yeah, I know you're there. All right, where's the big mama? Usually, if you find the little ones, it's because there's a spawner off me. Do I not have any ammo left? All right. Usually there's something that spits them out at you. And I don't see it here. Ooh. So this is just going to be some food and some resources to break down. Good morning. Okay. Well, that wasn't too bad. I was kind of surprised to find this here because it's technically off the map. Most of the things are marked once you turn on the beacons. They'll show you just about everything on the map, but there are a handful that are unmarked. This is new. Is that chair floating outside? Okay. Something's coming at me. Probably beaches. There we go. All right. All right, fine. We're going back to the boat. Okay. Minor detour. For the bugs, the electric taser does work pretty well because it has an area of effect. For the blobs, you really need to have the, something sharp, so either the crowbar or the pistol. I am on the Pacific Northwest of the U.S., meaning I am up real early. All right. Takes about a minute to get started. Yeah, we moved here from down Southern California. It was getting real hot and real dry in the summers. It's a nice mechanic where you can get away from things kind of out into the ocean. The game kind of gives you some lo-fi cruising music. I stream every couple of days. I've got a YouTube channel that I put the VODs on because I'm kind of tiny. But it's fun. I'm kind of between jobs at the moment, so this is a way of having something on the side, something to not be completely off on my own little corner. And I'd be playing video games anyways. I've not picked a fight with the sharks yet. They say if you go after the fins. Yeah, I don't do Discord very often. Too many social media platforms. It's a distraction. The Discord for the game is really nice, though. Very helpful, particularly since it's early access. They put up a lot of the bugs and known issues and tips and tricks. Oh, come on. You can actually blow those up if you hit them with the rifle, but it's not usually worth it. Nah, I don't usually get on Discord. It's just kind of a distraction, so I just tend to have my own little thing going. I'd rather play the video game than talk about the video game online, you know? No, I'm not on Instagram either. Facebook is a scam, man. I spent decades doing online media and I don't have a lot of use for the tips and tricks for growing followers. And Facebook advertising is the worst. We spent all kinds of money on that. People would pop in for 5 seconds and then vanish again. Total waste of time. Yeah, I'm thinking about the visuals, but I'm just kind of doing low key at the moment. I tried some of the stream overlays, but they just sort of flashed and blinked at me. It was a distraction. I kind of wish the Twitch homepage had a lo-fi mode, you know, like you could set it so that when you landed, you saw something chiller instead of something that was screeching. YouTube's a little bit better for that. If you tell it you're not interested in things, they do tend to go away. For a little while, I was blocking any channel where somebody had their mouth gaping open in the thumbnail like an idiot. Which is a little unfair. I'm sure they're very nice people. I have a degree in graphic design. I appreciate the offer, but I don't really need it. I don't usually wander off to look at other people's work. I'm a little more focused on my own. It's a kind offer, but no. Uh, it is almost time for breakfast now. I think I'm just going to get off to the next map point and then go feed the cats. Where did my cats go? Oh, my poor kitten is curled up in a little ball. She's a Southern California cat. She's like, why did you bring me somewhere with winter? Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to leave that on a bit of a cliffhanger. The question is, almost looks like the lights are struggling a little. I don't know whether that's struggling with loading or if maybe the wind turbines are flickering out. But I think I'm going to wait until tomorrow to find out. I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. We are essentially back where we started. way back in the beginning. So yeah, I did start another run through. I think what I'm going to do is make that one a little bit more targeted and do more tightly edited, or at least targeted videos where I'm just doing one thing, since I have a better idea of what I'm doing at this point. And so this will probably just end up being a fool around and find out sort of space. Most of that other stuff is going to end up on my YouTube channel. So go ahead and follow me over there if you're curious. I am also streaming a game called Winter Burrow, which is a sort of survival game that has almost like a children's storybook kind of vibe. If you remember the book or the movie, random bit of fluff. You remember the book, Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim, or the movie they made out of it called The Secret of Nim. It has a lot of that vibe to it. I really like it. That's usually the early part of the week. So I will go ahead and finish things off here and say thank you for watching and leave it there.